In a world of endless fandoms, one podcast dares to cover them all. Welcome to Between Two Batcaves, your go-to HQ for everything from comics to the screen and all the IP in between.
Join your hosts, Austin and Jordan, for weekly coverage of the comics, shows, and blockbuster hits that keep us coming back for more. So thanks for hanging with us and being part of the next entry into the Batcave saga.
Hello, and thanks for hanging with us today on this episode of Between Two Batcaves. We are your hosts. I am Austin Luke, and he is Jordan Brownstein. And today we are talking about Stranger Things Season 5.
The finale.
The series finale.
We're done.
We are not going to be talking about this show on the podcast anymore, which is weird because we've been talking about it for the last...
Like 2 months?
Yeah.
You've been talking about it for longer than that.
You're right, because I rewatched the entire show.
When did you start rewatching Season 1?
That's a good question.
Probably like September.
Yeah. No, like early fall. Yeah. No, it's been a while. I've had Stranger Things on the mind for a while.
The show's been in our lives in the immediate past and just like the distant past for a long time.
10 years.
10 years.
We had fun last night watching the finale. If you guys cannot tell, things are a little bit different today. We have switched Batcaves, yes. 2 weeks ago, we were in your Batcave. Last week, we were in separate Batcaves. We were between two Batcaves. Now we are in my Batcave.
We like to keep the visual palette diverse.
I hope that they like this. I hope that they like getting an expanded view of my art wall here. They usually can't see crypto. I know that much. They can't see the full Decepticon.
It's a darn shame because it's really cool.
I know, it's really cool. Yeah. They also can't usually see like the full little setup here on my desk. So
you just have to keep the field of view open like this.
Yeah, but then that's going to mess up the whole. It doesn't matter. So anyway, if you like what we're doing over here on Between Two Batcaves, let us know. A few ways you can do so. First, follow the pod on the podcast app of your choice. We're on all of them.
We are.
However you want to listen to us, listen on that platform. Follow the pod. Stay up to date with the latest from Jordan and I. Second, you can like, rate, and review the show on that podcast platform.
Yep.
A little 5-star rating, hopefully some positive words. Let us know how we're doing over here. Would go a long way. I was thinking, Jordan, actually, now that it's the new year, we'll workshop it after we record today, but we need to issue another challenge because we issued that challenge in October for getting up to a certain amount of reviews, and listeners helped a lot. We got up to that goal, but we've kind of plateaued since then. So
another call to action will be issued soon.
Yes, especially since we've been growing since then. So thank you to all the listeners who have engaged with us since then. Last thing you can do, share the show. If you're watching this, I'm assuming that you watched the Stranger Things Season 5 finale.
Yep.
I'm assuming that you probably watched it with like a friend, a significant other, anybody in your life who also likes Stranger Things. Share this episode with them so that you guys can compare all of your thoughts with our thoughts and let us know that we are either completely right or completely wrong in our thought process on this finale, which we will get into here in a minute. Jordan, would you like to let everybody know what we are doing today? I've already said it, but what are we doing today and in the future?
For anybody who's double screening, like a good portion of the people who I think watch Stranger Things, I'll remind you that we are here to talk about the Stranger Things Season 5 mega finale, the 2-hour episode that dropped last night. Before we get into that, though, I think we are going to talk a little bit about the most recent Doomsday teaser trailer that came out featuring Thor. We got to share a couple thoughts on that first before we get into Stranger Things. So that'll take the place of the Oracle report today.
Yeah.
What we got coming down the pipe, honestly, I don't really know.
It's a new year.
It's a new year. There are so many possibilities. Fallout is airing right now. Been keeping up with that. Percy Jackson, second season. I know you are looking to get into that. I don't know. We're going to figure out call to action. You guys listening, if there's something you guys are watching or, reading, whatever it might be that you think is interesting, that you think we might find interesting and have something to say on the pod about, let us know. Because we're kind of wide open right now.
Yeah, no, I haven't had the time to get into Fallout or Percy Jackson yet. So hopefully, now that Stranger Things is done, I can kind of get
Yeah,
into the Fallout side of it a
Fallout,
little bit. But
Dunkin' Egg too. This
oh
month,
shoot,
like 2
yeah.
weeks.
Ooh,
So
a little Game of Thrones
yeah,
content coming out on Between Two Batcaves later this month. That'll be fun.
yeah,
That'll be a lot of fun.
that it will. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. We got things to talk
We
about today.
usually get ahead of ourselves. Yeah.
um, I think it is time for us to move into what would be the Oracle report, but today is just the Thoracle report. We're gonna have to create a graphic for that. Sometimes things happen in a moment. It's just beautiful. Okay, so most recent teaser trailer for Doomsday came out this past week. Leaked before, but Marvel officially released it online
Yep.
a few days ago, and we basically get to see Thor in basically like his Infinity War glory with the short hair back. He's got
The battle
Stormbreaker,
armor.
and he's basically praying to Odin to give him the strength to fight one more battle and come home to his now daughter, Love. So if you haven't seen Thor: Love and Thunder, you
Spoilers.
might be a little confused. He's a daddy now too, and he's praying to Odin for the strength to come home and teach her stillness instead of the warrior way.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like a 1 minute teaser, pretty similar to the Steve Rogers one, just a little character moment. But man, it is really, really good to see Thor back.
It is. It's really good to see Thor back. Really glad to have him going to be back on the screen. I mean, he's one of the players on the field now that is. I mean, he's one of the OGs.
Yeah,
And
agree.
obviously we're getting them all back in this movie. You mentioned this. I want to say last week, but it's the we're getting an interesting like through line of
Fatherhood.
parenthood
Yeah.
and fatherhood in these teaser trailers, which I think is interesting. Like why are we focusing so much on the so far the original three and their evolution into parenthood? Is this kind of to set up the idea that okay, like after this, like everything's done, like we're moving on to the next generation?
Mhm.
Is there more to it than that? Like why are we focusing so much on the fatherhood side of these characters?
I think there's a meta answer and like an in-universe story answer. I think the
Mm,
meta answer, I think this might have been, I think I was talking to Maddie about this trailer the other day because I was like, you have to watch this. And so she did. And she was like, I think it's pretty smart that they're like framing this around the idea of parenthood now, because a lot of the people who grew up falling in love with these characters and with the MCU are now becoming parents.
shoot, that's literally me.
And they're speaking directly to you. Like I imagine that this like I mean, both of these trailers, the Steve and the Thor trailer, like probably hit you a little bit differently now that you got a kid that
Yeah,
you're
yeah, no,
raising, and
you're definitely not wrong.
it's
Yeah,
so they know their audience. They know that we like our demographic is one of the main target audiences here,
yeah,
and so I
yeah.
think that's a smart marketing decision on their part to frame it that way. I also think this movie itself is going to be a lot about like, parenthood and legacy and passing things down to the next generation.
Hmm.
And I mean, you get that with Steve now presumably having a kid, Thor obviously raising Love as his daughter. There are a lot of rumors going around that this version of Doom is going to be a Tony Stark variant who lost his daughter.
Yeah.
And obviously, we have like the Franklin post credit
I was gonna
scene.
say, yeah, we
So
started off meeting Doom in an interaction with a child.
yeah, so I mean, I think there is going that theme and that thread is going to be tugged on a lot in this movie.
Yeah, it's interesting too, just like so I don't really want to like get too deep into like leaks, but
Yeah.
the next trailer supposedly the X-Men trailer leaked.
Which I have seen the leaked
I have
version.
also seen the leaked version.
We will wait to talk about that until it's officially released.
It was really, really cool. Goes off of the whole parenthood through line. Now, obviously, you can make a very strong argument that Professor X is a father figure to all of them,
Yeah.
but it's definitely what we saw in the leak was much different than Steve Rogers holding his
Yeah.
baby in his house, then Thor giving a monologue about how he wants love to grow up differently
Yeah.
than he did. It's definitely set up in a very different light
Yes.
than what we've seen in the first two teaser trailers. But again, that's a leak. I don't want to get
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
deep
Yeah.
into that.
To maybe wrap up the trailer talk here so we can get into Stranger Things, we need to talk briefly about how good that not only this teaser trailer looked, but everything that we've seen from Doomsday so far. Everything that the Russos have shot in connection with Doomsday has looked
Pretty dang good.
really freaking good.
Pretty
The
dang good.
cinematographer is not somebody they've worked with before in their previous Marvel stuff. I mean, so we got the Thunderbolts post credit scene, which was filmed on the set of Doomsday, Fantastic Four post credit scene, and now the Steve Rogers and the Thor teasers.
Yep.
They all just have like I read a quote, I think from the cinematographer, talking about how they've really pivoted away from blue screen and onto more physical interior sets.
Mhm.
And you can feel that.
That's good.
And the color grading, like the Thor trailer, he's walking through the woods, and there's just like, you feel like the yellows and the greens.
And just like the gravitas.
Yes. Yes.
Which a lot of that is Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is, I think, Chris Hemsworth's like best version of Thor.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like the Infinity War Thor, basically.
Yeah.
The Russos and McFeely know how to write Thor. And I think there's going to be like a return to that phase. He's got Stormbreaker back. You don't see Mjolnir. But yeah, I think this is going to probably be the best looking Avengers movie we've ever gotten.
I've said this from the get-go with the whole bringing back RDJ and the Russo brothers. There was a lot of kickback in the beginning, and I understand that. I understand why people were so trepidatious.
Yeah.
However, I've said from the beginning that the Russo brothers and Robert Downey Jr., I truly believe, are not coming back to this project without a good reason to do so. They know what they're doing.
Mhm.
They would not come back and taint their legacy that they had in the Infinity Saga if there was not a good reason to do so.
Yeah.
They have the track record. They have proven that they know what to do. I think that this team together, they're here for a reason,
yeah.
And I think that they're going to put out something that's really going to shock us.
Yeah. I think this is the most I've been excited for Doomsday so far.
I would agree with that.
Like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot more room for growth with that, I think.
I mean, we should have 2 more trailers, right? It's supposedly the
2 more
X-Men one and then
teasers.
one other one.
I think it's supposed to be.
I mean, the
X-Men
teasers.
one.
Yeah.
There's the X-Men one, and I think the final. What I've kind of gathered is that there's going to be a final one, kind of featuring a lot of the Wakandan characters, and then presumably that means we're saving the Doom reveal for maybe like a Super Bowl trailer.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, the hype train is just building now. I mean, shoot, we're 2026.
2026.
This year.
January 1st.
This year.
Happy New Year, pal.
Happy New Year. Happy
Great
New
to leave it
Year
in.
to all of our listeners.
Yes.
Happy New Year out there, guys. Thanks for
2026.
tuning in. Thanks for listening on the New Year. 2026 is going to be a big year for Between Two Batcaves.
I think so.
We should get into Stranger Things, but at the end, let's keep this in the back of our mind as we go through the episode today. Let's each set a New Year's resolution for the show
Okay.
by the end of the episode.
I like it.
Before we move on, though, quick, Marvel.
What you got?
Did you see the rumor that Jordan Peele's production company is in talks with Marvel
Yes.
to produce a movie?
Yes, I saw that. And what's giving even more credence to that is that his production company, I think it's called Monkey Paw Studios, like their Twitter account quote tweeted one of like the accounts that put out the rumor and just did the little 2 eyes emoji
Yeah,
just to continue stirring up the rumor mill.
that's feeding the fire.
I'm pretty sure like Jordan Peele and his production company are under a contract with Universal for the next couple of years.
You might be right. Yeah,
And he was supposed to have a movie coming out like this year, but that what I've heard is that movie hasn't even started filming yet, so that might not happen. What I think I could see happening here is something similar to what Ryan Coogler's production studio did with Ironheart, where they get like they're on the production side of things and maybe not. He's not like directly show running or directing whatever it is, but he has a say in what's going on. And I think getting Jordan Peele and his production company involved in the MCU in any way is a win.
what kind of immediately came to my mind was just like, I think Jordan Peele. Like, obviously, this doesn't mean that Jordan Peele would direct an
Right,
MCU
yeah.
movie, but I just think that like his style would kind of be really well suited for a mutant project. I'm almost thinking like New Mutants.
That'd be cool.
Now, obviously, that's not.
Joe Schreier.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like the New Mutants movie that came out years ago.
Oh yeah, with
Yeah.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
But like more that like kind of like horror, psychological thriller type vibe to like a mutant project. I think Ryan Coogler, and the people that he surrounds himself with would be
Or
well
Jordan
suited to
Peele.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Did I just say Ryan Coogler?
Yeah.
I love Ryan Coogler.
Yeah. I think that would be cool. Mutants or like a Midnight Suns type thing, like or Blade. That's
Yeah,
the big one that people
yeah.
are talking about. Is Peele's going to come in and do Blade? I don't think that's happening.
No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't see that too much. But that's it. That's all.
Suffice to say,
I need to know.
2026, massive year for Marvel. We will be discussing it. At
Yes,
length.
yes.
Yeah. All right.
Want to get into Stranger Things?
I think it's time.
The finale,
The finale. The mega finale.
series finale.
The 2-hour series finale of Stranger Things. 10 years in the making. Let's issue a spoiler warning.
Yeah.
If you have not seen the series finale of Stranger Things, we're going to be spoiling the heck out of it. So if you care about that, get out of here, go watch it. It's on Netflix, and then come back here and listen to us yap about it.
Yeah.
Really quick Batcave recap.
You got this.
This one, written and directed by the Duffer Brothers, the showrunners. The party defeats Vecna and the Mind Flayer, and then we basically have an hour of reflection. Elle maybe sacrifices herself along with the Upside Down.
Up to interpretation there.
Up to interpretation. We're going to discuss that. But to put an end to the military's hunt for her and her friends.
Yep.
And then again, we get like an hour of reflection and discussion of how these characters are trying to move on or not. And we close with one final D&D campaign with our party, and we hand it off to the next generation with Holly as the new dungeon master and leading a new group into the D&D world.
Yep.
And fade to black.
We'll have to talk about some potential spinoff capability there later in the episode.
Yeah, we do. That's your Batcave recap. That's a Batcave recap.
No, that sounds
for
about right.
Stranger Things
Yeah.
Season 5 finale.
This, and I think, so let's get into it. We're going to kind of, and you did this really well in the Batcave recap. I mean, we're going to split this up basically into halves.
Yeah.
There's a first half of this finale and there's a second half.
Yep.
The first half is leading up to defeating Vecna, and the second half is the
The
emotional,
fallout.
the fallout. Yeah.
We're tying up all the loose threads,
Yeah.
basically.
And so that's exactly, I mean, it's split pretty much right down the middle. It's a little, you get like maybe 10 extra minutes on the side of defeating Vecna, but I mean, you get like dang near an hour of just like dealing with the characters at the end of this thing.
Absolutely.
So let's start with the first half.
But first, just really quickly, give me like broad overview. What are your thoughts on the finale?
Okay. So I liked it.
Yeah.
I like the finale. Just peek behind the curtain here, everybody. Obviously, Jordan and I are together right now. We spent New Year's Eve together. Us and our wives all hung out and watched the finale last night.
We're so washed up.
Would have wanted any other way.
It's perfect.
We had some Stranger Things themed foods.
We did.
That was nice.
Demogorgon cake.
Yeah, Demogorgon cake.
Made like some upside down themed drinks.
Yeah, that was
White
fun.
Russians.
White Russians, yeah. I made a salad with beets in it because they eat beets in Russia.
We really love Stranger Things.
Yeah. Anyway, so at the end of the finale, you and I both looked at each other and we're like, "Oh, that hit." We were like, "That was." And don't get me, we have problems with this. I don't want to get anything. We have problems with this, but we were like, that worked for us. And then both Em and Maddie were just like, didn't really work for us. And then followed up by your sister texting you saying how it did not work for her.
Carly, we were going to be reading some of your text messages into the record here on this episode because I was reading them out to our
they were
party
cracking
last
us
night.
up.
We were dying. So
They
we're
were
going to
cracking
get
us
into
up.
that. Yeah.
But for me personally, yes, there was definitely a lot of flaws there. And we talked about it this morning again. And there's a lot of things that didn't quite live up to the hype, I think. I think Stranger Things has a really good track record of nailing their finales, and I don't know if this one lives up to that bar. I don't know if it hit that standard that they've set for themselves. However, it had a bigger task at hand because it wasn't just a season finale, it was a series finale, and I think a lot of work that was done in that last hour really worked for me emotionally.
Yeah. I mean, simply put, I think it was a quite a good series finale, not a great season finale.
Yeah, no, you said that last night. That's a
Yeah.
really good way to put it.
That's I mean, that's to put it simply, like that's how I feel about it. The last hour is basically a coda for the entire series. There's an 18-month time jump, right? I think it's 18 months
Yeah.
from the feat of Vecna
Yeah, no, yeah,
to
18 months, yeah.
like the coda, and treating that just as like a wrap up and a farewell to all these characters that we've spent upwards of 10 years caring about. It worked for me.
Yeah,
Now, first, first reading into the record of one of Carly's texts, she called it an hour of emotional manipulation.
that's fair.
I think that's fair, and it worked for me. Um, I think mileage will vary for other people. Um, the Vecna Mind Flare resolution, however, leaves me wanting, and we're going to talk about that. But am not I'm not particularly satisfied with how that wrapped up. Although there was a lot of good in it, but the final resolution there, nah,
Yeah,
nah,
yeah, that's a good way to put it.
yeah,
Yeah, that noise describes it pretty well. So let's get into why it was. Yeah,
yeah. Okay, let's do that. So we basically get like the episode opens with them getting into the Upside Down and just like enacting their was it Mission Beanstalk, Operation Beanstalk.
Operation Beanstalk. Yeah,
Um,
climb the radio tower, get into the abyss.
yes. And despite some hiccups in the plan, including Vecna manipulation of Hopper.
Which was okay. So I think we'll probably get into this a little bit later. About Hopper this season and in this finale was pretty ineffective for me. But that scene, that was a good scene.
Yes,
That was a good
I
scene.
like
The Agent
that.
Orange,
Yeah,
bringing Sarah back.
yeah.
Having us believe that he shot L. And I mean that I remember during that all of our mouths were
You're like,
agape.
whoa.
We were like, oh shoot. Now, obviously didn't actually happen, but I mean we were genuinely like mind blown for a second.
Yeah, I like seeing just the dynamic between Henry and Hopper.
Yeah. They've never interacted.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think so. And yeah, I think that was an effective way to manipulate Hopper.
Yeah.
And it kind of, I mean, led to his story kind of coming full circle with his final conversation with Elle, where they have this like very heartfelt moment where she thanks him for taking her in and treating her like his daughter. But I'm not a kid anymore and I'm not Sarah, and you have to trust me to make the right decision. And I thought that was an effective scene
It was.
as like a wrap on, and I mean,
Probably the
throughout
best
this-
scene between them for the
Yeah.
whole season.
and I like how like throughout this episode, I think this is another thing that will strike some people differently, but I did the flashbacks and like getting the scenes from previous seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, as Carly said, probably emotional manipulation. I was effectively manipulated. I mean, it's just jarring when you go back to those moments from season 1 and season 2 and to see how far they've come. And
Yeah.
something we've been talking about the whole season, but in this final moment, it's something beautiful.
Yep.
Okay. So there's everything that's going on in the Upside Down, which is Hopper, Elle, Collie, and Murray.
Mhm.
And then the rest of the party is moving from the Upside Down into
The abyss. Yeah.
So
I'm cool with starting just kind of by talking about the
work from the bottom up.
and talking about the group in the Upside Down. Like you
Yeah.
said, we have Murray, we have Hopper, we have Collie, we have 11.
Let's talk about Collie. Let's get
Get it out of the way because
this was a miss.
This was a miss, 100%. I mean, I could not care less about her story this season. Honestly, there's moments during this finale where like she was frankly just like pissing me off.
Yeah.
With like her dialogue and just like her like when she like
pulls a gun on
Hopper, I was
okay.
angry about that. It's just very, very ineffective. Like she was there kind of only to basically,
Be the devil on L's shoulder.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And I just think that we could have done that in a more effective way with like a different like
character.
character.
Yeah,
I don't care about the collie stuff at all.
and we talked about this when we got the reveal that she was coming back at the end of, I think, volume 1, right?
Yes.
How this is a big swing,
Yep.
and like, I think we can respect them for taking the swing
Mm,
while also acknowledging the fact that they missed.
yes.
Um, this is something that the MCU does really well oftentimes, is pulling from previous movies or projects that maybe aren't as beloved, uh, generally,
Mm.
with something like the Thor: The Dark World and Avengers: Endgame,
And making it relevant
retroactively
again.
making it relevant and making it better.
Yep.
I appreciate that, and the MCU does that really well, but it's hard. And so when you bring Kali back and she's really just there to serve as, again, like this, a catalyst for L.
Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah.
it doesn't quite work. And she, I mean, it's not like she didn't have the same kind of screen time that, say, Holly does.
Yes.
But I think there's a similar issue when we're introducing this character who we don't care about her, quite frankly, and she's taking away screen time from the characters that we do care about and have spent all this time with.
Well, not only that, she's also like actively acting as a detriment to other characters that we want to enjoy more, like Hopper.
Yeah.
Like the presence of Kali, I think, in this season actively took away from my enjoyment of Hopper. And now, obviously, we talked about this previously, but like some of that has to do with the fact that like David Harbour just doesn't seem like he's here for this season.
Yeah, I think his best work is here in this finale.
Yeah.
I think there is some good stuff from Hop and from David Harbour here, but that's comparing it to a pretty low baseline over
Yeah.
the course of the season.
And I just think it's like the relationship between like this dynamic that we've gotten all season long of Elle, Kali, and Hop, that and like the
Yeah.
presence of Kali has made me like Hopper less because of like the interactions that like we're getting
That's a good
with
point.
them.
Yeah, not the best character grouping, which Stranger Things is really,
Really good at.
very good at as one of its calling cards.
I also think it's important to talk about the fact that like, I mean, so obviously something that people have been speculating about all ever since season 5 was announced is who's going to die in this season. It's been the hot topic, who's going to die, and not like character deaths, not like a show needs a major character death to be an effective like emotional
But
moment, but it oftentimes does happen.
especially in a show like this where it is supernatural horror.
Yes. And when you make your only character death Kali, that was the only character death.
And I think we need a table discussion of whether or not she actually died.
That's a good point.
But there is ambiguity around even that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just it's what Stranger Things has done historically too. Is she's not a new character here, but introducing a new character and they're the death for the season.
Yes.
So going back to like Eddie,
Yeah, they do it every season.
yeah,
Yeah.
Billy, and I think this is the weakest version of that.
I would agree with that.
But I do think we get some good stuff in the upside down sequences. I mean, Murray going full Rambo. I did like the final showdown between that our group of 4 there and the rogue military squadron.
Yeah, that was good.
The leader of their group I thought was really good. I like that he went rogue after having been like psychologically and psychically tortured by L. And I mean, having L make him turn the gun on himself was a pretty dark.
That was dark. That was a dark scene. Yeah, I mean, Elle pulled that trigger.
Yeah.
That was dark.
So I did like how she kind of got that. I mean, it was kind of a hero moment, but maybe not because she wasn't able to save her sister. But like getting to see her use her powers there, and then Murray, saved the day a little bit too.
I was gonna say
like
the
that.
presence of Murray in that bunch of scenes definitely helped
Yes,
a lot. I love Murray, and
just good.
he's
I liked how, I mean,
lighthearted comedy.
yes, but then also that he did a good job of balancing that when Hop and Elle come up to the roof to meet him after Kali dies, and he's doing his usual Murray shtick until he realizes that something is wrong.
Yeah.
And then he drops that facade and is able to be like a genuine person in that moment, which I thought that was good to see.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And then, I mean, basically we leave that upside down sequence off with the scene between Hop and Elle, where Elle is like, you need to trust me to make the right decision. and Elle force jumps from the upside down into the abyss.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say
would have.
we should talk about the good parts because like we said, this episode had some of the most effective moments between Elle and Hop
This,
that we've gotten all season. And I wouldn't say some. I mean, the most effective moments.
yeah.
And we get like the discussion on top of um the sensory deprivation tank, which
Yeah.
only place in the upside down that has water.
Listen, there are a couple. M made some points last night.
It's convenient.
There are a lot of
It's convenient.
conveniences that occur here. You know what? I think we have to make the active decision to just accept
I'm
the
with you.
rules of this finale.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
We can accept the fact, but I'm just saying, only place that has water
Like-
and
like- hey.
pristinely clean water.
Like Hop says, sometimes you can accept something while still thinking about it and wondering about it and not agreeing with it.
Touche,
So,
my friend.
We'll get to that later, but that's what I'm going to choose to do here. I'll take Hop's advice.
Well, Elle did not take Hop's advice
No.
because they have that conversation on top of the sensory deprivation tank, and he basically Elle is saying, like, promise me, like, you will not pull me out no matter what happens. Like, I need to do this. Like, and Hop's like, okay, well then, like, promise me, like, you kill Vecna,
And we get out.
and we get out of here, and we solve the other problem on a later day. And
Yeah.
he's indirectly saying, it's like, listen, I know Kali has, gotten to you. I know
because
what.
Vecna showed him
Mhm.
that, which I again going back to that.
Well, no,
Vecna-
this was prior to that scene.
You're right.
But
you're right.
still, he knows. I mean,
Yeah.
he's her dad.
Yeah.
And he knows that, Kali has been saying things to her.
Right.
And he can tell that, she's thinking about doing something that, in his opinion, is stupid.
Yeah.
And he's like, let's regroup, and we can together, we can solve
Yeah.
this problem a later day.
Yeah.
And he's, I thought that was a really effective father-daughter moment.
Yeah. I think that stuff largely worked. So yeah, we leave off. She flies into the abyss to join the rest of the party who have been there for a little bit. You want to talk about them a little bit?
The Abyss?
The abyss.
Yeah, let's talk about the Abyss.
Okay, so we get the rest of the party. So it's like everybody: Nancy, Jonathan, Steve, Mike, Will, Joyce,
All in ridiculous camouflage.
I was like, okay, they took the time necessary to get their fits off, which I appreciate.
Dustin is wearing a ghillie suit.
Dustin has a ghillie suit in a desert environment,
Yep.
which doesn't quite align. To be fair, he didn't know.
Mike
didn't
is
know
like
how to
in
do
like
desert.
urban camouflage. I mean, they all look great. They all look fantastic.
yes.
But where did they find the time to get these fits?
Did
Did they have them ready?
They made the time. They had 18 months leading up to this to get all the doomsday fits ready.
Fair.
But so they make their way into the abyss by climbing up the Squawk radio tower. With nice callback to first episode of the season with Steve and Jonathan racing up out of their toxic masculine attempts to win Nancy over. And so we kind of get a follow up on that with the whole party climbing up, and at one point Steve falls, Jonathan saves him.
Yeah.
And that's like I liked basically this sequence of the episode with this group, this portion of the party working their way up to the abyss and to Vecna's castle, to the mind flare. I liked how they used that time to resolve a lot of different kind of character dynamics and character threads and things like that. So we get
But the Jonathan Steve conversation, I thought was really good.
Yes, I agree. Jonathan says to Steve, just because I don't like you doesn't mean I want to see you dead.
Yep.
They're able to find common ground over their love of Nancy, basically.
Yeah.
And come to an understanding that maybe we aren't going to be best friends, but we've been through a heck of a lot together.
Yeah.
And so we get that. We get what else do we get in this sequence? We get like the one Nancy Mike interaction in the whole season, basically, except for like very early on, which
I'm convinced Nancy is a terrible older sister.
we're gonna get to that. But I swear to God, Nancy and Holly are not related.
They're not really.
They're not. They didn't grow up together.
No.
But I did like the Nancy Mike scene where Mike's like, "Come on, just give me a gun,"
Yeah.
and she gives him the flare gun.
Yeah, that was funny. That was funny.
But I mean, the brother sister dynamic, you get a little bit there. You get Robin's just kind of there. You don't really get too much from Robin. Robin is kind of resolved.
Don't get a lot from Robin.
Robin's stuff is kind of resolved in episode 7. I mean, she didn't really have that much going on in this season. Her role was kind of to be
Will's mentor,
spirit guide.
Yeah,
right?
And she did so very effectively.
Yes, and it also, I liked how Will's coming out was kind of like a cathartic moment for Robin, who hasn't had. She's told a few people, and so she's still,
but she hasn't taken the step that Will took.
And I think that you can see that what Will has done in this season has inspired Robin to open herself up even more.
Yes.
But so we get like a good amount of like character beats as they're trekking through the abyss to Vecna's castle.
Yeah.
We later find out is just the Mind Flayer.
I want to, well, you're on a line right here, so we'll circle back. But I do want to know your thoughts on the reveal that like the Mind Flayer is this giant like alien kaiju monster thing. Yeah.
The whole, I think it might be time to get into it. I'm just taking a look at my notes of what we got here. It might be time to get into just like the final showdown with Vecna and the Mind Flayer.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. I'll just say, I think the design was really cool.
Yeah.
This like giant alien Mind Flayer thing. But I was also like kind of like, oh well, I've been under the impression that the Mind Flayer is this big smoke monster.
Yeah.
From like season 2.
Right.
Season 3. And so like that was like a little weird, but I like the way it looked, and it made for like an epic showdown. Which got resolved very quickly, which is what you're about to get into.
Yes. It felt very unsatisfying, I would say. I was hoping for like kind of like a final like psychic showdown. Like, did you ever watch Legion?
Yeah.
Remember the Behind Blue Eyes sequence where David and the Shadow King are facing off on the psychic plane against each other?
Yeah, and you did say that during the episode. You were like, man, I wonder if they're going to end this on the psychic plane.
Which I think that would have been more interesting, not just visually, but also just like from a story perspective, because this episode kind of falls victim to a criticism of the MCU a lot, which is just like this final third act big boss fight.
That's fair.
Which is basically what this is, with some frills. And with it, like, so they have the final showdown in the abyss while there's also a separate rescue mission going on, where initially the plan was for Elle and Kali to psychically team up with Max and pull the 12 kids out of Vecna's mind prison.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have that stuff going on, and at the same time as the party is going to face off against Vecna in the abyss.
Yeah.
So it's all leading up to the final showdown, which, thinking about the sequence of events, I want to talk a little bit about the stuff that happens with the kids and the rescue of the kids.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, we definitely can. And I guess we can kind of like interject here to talk about that, because I was just thinking here, like, it does deserve mentioning, because Jamie Campbell Bower is
Bat Signal spotlight, 100% performance.
Crazy, creepy, scary. Like the way you compared him this morning to Bill Skarsgård, which I think was a great comp.
In this episode specifically, like very Pennywise coded. Like you called like the way he's able to make his eyes bulge out.
Yeah. And like the way they shoot him kind of from top down.
Yeah, he's like skulking.
Yeah.
Okay. Henry. Let's talk about Henry for a second.
Yeah.
Because we get if you want to call it a reveal, I don't really think it's a reveal for anybody who's like able to read context clues.
Yeah.
The reason Henry is so afraid of the cave is because obviously it holds the memory of when he, like we learned earlier in the season, it holds the memory of what happened with the scientist who shoots him, and Henry has to kill him.
Yeah.
And we cut off in the previous episode when he's about to open the scientist's briefcase. We, through various means, are able to discern that the Mind Flayer is housed within the briefcase.
Yeah, he's patient zero.
And that's just the reveal that we get. So like plot-wise, we don't really learn anything that we didn't already know.
Right.
But the reason that scene works so freaking well for me was Jamie Campbell Bower.
Oh, yeah.
And because, I mean, oh my God. I don't
like watching him like overcome
yeah.
his fear. And he was purely fueled by like rage.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that took him into that cave.
Yes.
Like he was furious. Like the facade has been broken. Like the walls have been the curtains pulled back. Walls have been broken down. They now know that Henry is the monster, and the only thing standing in his way at this point is that fact that he cannot go into the cave. So he is rage fueled, going into this cave, confronting his greatest fear, and just like the way that he like it's like fighting with every step.
Yeah.
And like you're getting like flashbacks to the moment in the cave, and when Holly, she's with the other kids and she thinks that they're safe. She turns the corner and she sees him there, just like on all fours, and he just like looks up, and I mean that's like goosebumps,
Yeah.
and that was like spine tingling. It's
Yeah.
like, oh man, all bets are off, and then we get a great sequence that we have come to enjoy in this season in particular, of just Henry like speed walking, chasing people, but
Yeah.
he does run in this
He
episode.
does.
He does
He
run.
gets that speed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also like how we also have Will involved in this scene too,
Mhm.
because Will's tapped into Henry at this point, and Will is like making this bid to Henry's humanity
Yeah.
and explaining how you're just like me, like you are to the Mind Flayer as I am to you. You're just a vessel for the Mind
Yeah.
Flayer, and it seems like he's getting through to Henry.
Yeah. I
Like,
thought for a moment there
and-
we were going to have that redemption, which we both did not want to have happen.
Right. At least in that moment, because it seems like we're going that route, and then Henry turns, or how everyone interpret it, maybe it's the Mind Flayer like sinking its claws back into him again,
Right.
to say no, like this was my choice. I could have resisted the Mind Flayer, but he showed me the truth of the world, and I agree with him, and we need each other. And so, no, we're not getting redemption here. Yes, I am Vecna, and that's my choice. And that's the last we see of Henry in this entire series. That's the last we see of Jamie Campbell Bower. He's Vecna for the rest of the episode.
Yep.
And I think that was a miss. I think that was an absolute miss, because I find Henry to be just a much more interesting character than Vecna
Yeah.
at this point. And while I'm glad that we didn't get like the immediate redemption moment in the cave there from Henry, I was kind of excited. And we talked about this a little bit, like, because we took a break, like kind of right after this moment, how, okay, you didn't get the redemption here, but there might be like a final second turn from Henry at the end to, to save the party, or to put foil the Mind Flayer's plan.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. It just ends up being Vecna / Mind Flayer versus the party.
Pretty much.
And the party wins.
Yeah.
Um,
Through, pretty easy means.
it's just the 11 will team up.
Yeah.
That's basically it. And then, it's that, and it's also the party, facing off against the Mind Flayer, which is like, it's probably like a 5-10 minute, like big, like kaiju battle sequence.
Lots of Molotov cocktails, some AR-15s
Yeah.
from Nancy, obviously.
Nancy
Who else is going to be
Rambo.
shooting this
She
thing?
said, "I'll be the distraction," and runs at the 100-story tall Mind Flayer with an AR-15.
Yep.
Which seemingly actually had an impact on the Mind Flayer.
I refuse to talk about. I
The
refuse to
power
talk about
scaling?
the power scaling of
Yeah.
the monsters in this show anymore.
It-
I've been put in my place. I've been put in my place.
YouTube Shorts.
I'm not talking about it again. Why do bullets hurt this thing? Doesn't make sense. Why did bullets not hurt the Demogorgons? But yes, I definitely. So the Vecna storyline has been built up for so long, and we ultimately just kind of gets beat in classic Stranger Things fashion of just, okay, Elle pushes him into a
impales
spike.
him on like a Mind Flayer tooth.
It looks like it, yeah. And with the help of Will, obviously,
Yes,
and that was
Will-
cool.
I did
That
love
was
to,
cool.
Will got his hero moment. He was able to chop Vecna's arm off.
Yeah,
Psychically. So the fan of the show in me enjoyed the final battle esque sequence here.
Don't get me, it was cool.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like unfulfilling.
It was unfulfilling. It was like an uninspired way to do it, I think, just having it be like a final punch him out thing.
Yeah.
Even with I think there was potential to go a lot further with the psychic side of things here.
There definitely was, especially it's been leaning so heavily towards the psychic ability stuff
Yeah.
in the later parts of Stranger Things, that it does leave you wanting a little bit more on that plane.
Yeah.
But
And this was something that you mentioned a couple times, how Vecna Henry says in that cave sequence that the Mind Flayer needs me and I need the Mind Flayer, basically.
yeah,
It's like a symbiotic relationship, but that's never really fully explained.
and
And
I still don't get it.
I don't get it. I don't get it either. Like, why? I mean, why does killing Vecna kill the Mind Flayer?
So okay, like I said this last night. It's almost like Vecna's like the Mind Flayer's battery
Yeah.
because like the Mind Flayer's been laying dormant, obviously for who knows how long. It gets a hold of Henry, it does Henry's bidding, is trying to gather these children to bring the Mind Flayer to another dimension, another world. Obviously, the Mind Flayer is a hive mind. Like this is pretty classic, like hive mind sci-fi stuff. They just want to go to new worlds and expand
Very,
their.
very pluribus.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this. I'm not gonna harp on that stuff. I mean, that's just like classic hive mind, alien species stuff. But what I don't understand is like why is like Henry such an integral part of that plan, and like because it seems like when he's like plugged into the Mind Flayer is like he's almost like a life source for it.
Yeah.
And I just don't like fully understand that relationship. So, and I'm not going to like. There's really unless somebody out there has an answer for me, please, I would love to know. It's just I'm not understanding why Henry was so important to the Mind Flayer outside of the fact that Henry was the one collecting the children to make the conversions happen.
Yes. I think this is something that happens with Stranger Things sometimes, where the mechanics of things, they don't want you to think about them too much.
Well, that's hard because here we are having a podcast episode about it. So we're thinking about it.
Yeah. Also, just a little bit of a bummer that we don't see a single Demogorgon in this episode.
Dude. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
what? The Demogorgons are extensions of the Mind Flayer.
Yeah,
I
that's
believe.
that's what I'm believing. Yeah.
The Mind Flayer's home is Dimension X.
Yeah.
The party, it looks like they walk a few miles to get to the castle. No Demogorgons.
No Demogorgons, no Demodogs, no Demobats.
Nothing. No demos.
Yeah.
Don't know why. It would have been cool to kind of. I mean, I think the answer is probably plot armor, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah, and
That's
probably took a lot of money to animate or to create that Mind Flayer.
Yeah.
But yes, no, I agree. It would have been cool, and we talked about too. Like the final battle scene was just, it almost felt like it was easier to beat the Mind Flayer than it was to beat the Demogorgon in season 1.
Yeah.
And granted, like in season 1, they didn't know what they were up against, but it felt like the stakes were higher trying to beat the singular Demogorgon in season 1 than they were beating the Mind Flayer in the finale here. But I don't know about you. Are you ready to move on to the second half of this?
I am. I will just to put a cap on this, Joyce dropping an F-bomb and decapitating Vecna. Pretty cool.
Good mom moment. She needed that.
You left with the wrong family.
She needed that.
That's basically all she does the entire season, which is kind of a bummer. We talked about it already, how Winona Ryder has been wholly sidelined in the past couple seasons, when this was like her show to start.
Yeah.
So
she scarred those children.
Oh, yeah.
She decapitated Vecna in front of,
and it wasn't clean.
12 9-year-olds.
Took like half a dozen hacks.
Yeah.
So that being Joyce's big moment in this first half, I thought, like, I'm glad that she had that moment. Like, did she really need to? It just felt like Joyce was there because she had to be. Like, I don't know.
No, you're right. She's been sidelined. She's been sidelined.
But at least she had that moment.
Yeah.
Love Winona Ryder. And then last but not least, I already said it, but Nancy rescues Holly. She pulls Vecna's tube out of Holly's mouth. And I swear to God, these two people have never met in their lives. They are not sisters. They've never shared a scene together, I don't think. I mean, that might be wrong. That's wrong. Somebody's going to comment and say, no, they ate breakfast together in 407 or something like that. And
well, no, because it's a new actress for Holly.
Yeah.
So it's actually a really good chance that this is their first scene together.
So, I mean, that's just like, the show didn't do a good enough job of establishing that relationship to make that moment matter.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's weird because the relationship between Holly and Mike
very good.
feels really
And when
good.
Mike comes in to give her a hug,
Yeah.
in that sequence, like that moment,
Yeah.
meant something.
But like Nancy, just like she's so like it feels like such a weird relationship between her and it doesn't seem like there's a relationship at all between her and Holly. But like her relationship with Mike too is like very like weird. Like it's very much just like, oh, like you're my, you know, just like snot nosed little brother,
Yeah.
and like but also like and like I get that, like that is kind of how we were introduced to them, but like they've been through so much together, like
You would
it
hope
would
for it to
seem
get
that
a
it would
little bit
evolve
more
past
dynamic.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Um, okay. Coda time?
Yeah.
Okay, so we basically after this, well, no, do you want to we have to talk about before we get into the coda, we have to talk about the resolution with L,
Oh, you're right. You're right.
which is like the final thing that we get because they defeat Vecna in the Mind Flayer. They set the charges to blow up the exotic matter and
Mhm.
shut down the Upside Down. And they're on their way out and everything's happy go lucky. Like there's an hour left in the episode. We know something like
Weren't
their
fooling
footage gonna
us.
drop, but like they're acting like the series is over. Lo and behold, as soon as they get out of the Upside Down, the military and Dr. K are waiting for them. And you kind of see like, okay, yeah, like
Al's
maybe
not here.
well that, but also like maybe Kali and Elle had a point to the fact that as long as they're around, like this is never going to end.
Yeah.
And so you kind of start to reckon with that. And then, yes, um, the military is rounding everybody up. They realize Elle is not there. And you get the sequence of Elle staying in the Upside Down as it's shut down. And she gets a final goodbye with Mike. And that's when everything cuts to black and we get the time jump.
Yep.
So Elle ends up making the sacrifice, and or at least seemingly. And that's where we leave things. Do you want to talk about the implications of that scene in connection with Dakota, or do you want to talk about it a little bit now?
Let's talk about it in implications with Dakota, because I think it's going to be more effective there
I
with
agree.
with how we get the final
Yeah.
scene of this
Yes.
show. But yeah, I do like what you said there. Like there was a moment where we thought, oh, like maybe Kali was right.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, fade to black. And let's talk about the fallout of everything that has just happened. With the characters that we love.
18-month time jump, mirroring the jump between the end of season 4 and the beginning of season 5. Everybody has kind of moved on for the most part, with the exception of Mike, who
The town's back together.
Yeah.
I mean,
I do just want to say, we'll talk about it. I one of the big themes here for the second half is how much they put on Finn Wolfhard's shoulders as Mike. And I think he
was killing again.
Absolutely delivers. And it starts with that scene as they come out of the Upside Down and his goodbye with Elle.
Yeah.
And I really need to commend like the work that Finn Wolfhard does in this season and in this episode specifically.
A standout,
because the final half of this episode succeeds or fails on his shoulders.
Yes.
And I think
they gave him the work to do.
Yes.
And he delivered.
Yes, I think so too. Some people might disagree. I think, again, Carly called it emotional manipulation for an hour. I think she's got a point.
That's not wrong.
Yeah.
But it totally is emotional manipulation. But it's like you said too, like if you are emotionally manipulated effectively, then it worked, right?
I think so. And this is where the first half of the episode doesn't work as well as I want it to.
Yes.
But as we're sitting there watching, like just spending time with these characters and the place that they're at now, and they're reminiscing on their experiences. And that, I mean, just like you're 29 now. I'm 28. We started watching these shows like as like freshmen in college.
Yeah.
Like you get like you get nostalgic. You bite on the nostalgia bait and you start reminiscing on like where we were when we started watching this show. What happened to us over the course of this show.
Yep.
And I think they did a good job mirroring that with the characters.
Yes. Yes.
And so, so we get the 18-month time jump and it's high school graduation day for the party.
Yeah. They're all looking great.
Some people got the haircuts they got. Hold on, I got it. Okay, this is
okay. Well, yeah, let's call one of the Carly texts.
Reading another Carly text into the record. let's see, where is it?
I'll say while he's looking, Dustin looking fantastic. Lucas, new haircut, looking good. Mike got buff, which we'll talk about at the end of the episode.
We will.
Yeah.
Okay. Carly said, not every single person, this is in all caps, not every single person gets a life-changing haircut in 18 months. Every Wheeler woman got the worst haircut of their effing life that year. And she's not wrong. She's not wrong.
What? Why did Karen get rid of the perm? I was into the perm, man.
Yeah.
And Nancy, I don't know. I'm into the Holly bang. I like the bang cut for Holly.
That wig
Maybe
is
it's
brutal though.
It is. Maybe it's because my daughter just got her first haircut and she has bangs now. So,
Yeah.
but
Hey,
yeah,
speaking to you.
yeah.
Okay. Quick check in on where everybody's at. So, party's graduating. Lucas and Max are happy together. Max is shredding again on the skateboard.
Quick recovery time.
Quick recovery time. Well, 18 months.
Fair.
Yeah, she's at the time. Dustin is valedictorian. Gives
An awesome speech.
A very metal.
Eddie reminiscent.
Yes, I mean Eddie would have been very proud.
Yep.
He roasts the principal and the system.
Taking it to the man.
Rips off the ceremonial garb, and he's wearing the Hellfire shirt.
Yep.
And what I love so much about the sequence
Was his mom.
Dustin's mom, who we first time seeing her all season, but she's like in the
Cheering him
stands,
on.
like, yeah, go Dusty.
She's like, down with the man. It was so funny. It was
so that was cool. I mean, like, I looked at you when we saw Dustin about to give a graduation speech. I was like, on the list of things that are like queued up to get me, Dustin giving a graduation speech.
And then like Steve in the cheered in the crowd.
Okay.
That was awesome.
So Steve has taken on the position as a
Little
league baseball coach, teaching sex ed at the school.
Fits too well.
Looking to settle down in a nice little single family home and raise some kiddos.
6 nuggets.
Perfect. 6, maybe 4 now.
Maybe 4.
Maybe
yeah,
4.
he's altered his expectations.
And so he's saving up for a house. And Jonathan is out at
NYU studying film. Yeah.
Nancy dropped out of school to pursue journalism,
Yep.
which, given the state of the journalism industry today, I hope she got out.
I mean, she got in what, 89? So she probably had like an illustrious career through like the 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. Maybe she has a Substack now.
Yeah, fair. She probably has a podcast.
Yeah, maybe so. Robin is also, I think she's off at school.
Yeah, she's at school somewhere.
Like, so they're all there. And like after the graduation ceremony, you get the 4 teens. So Robin, Steve, Jonathan, and Nancy.
Just drinking beer on the roof of the Squawk.
Awesome. Reminiscing, like
Yeah.
catching up on life. And this was one of my favorite scenes of like the coda.
Yeah.
Because it reminded me a lot of the Nancy Jonathan breakup scene, in that the show at its best is about like normal kids growing up colliding with supernatural horror trauma.
Yeah.
And I like that we get this scene between them reminiscing and like seemingly like just like trying their best to move on. But they say to each other, like, it'll never be the same.
Yep.
Like we have been through something that has changed us forever.
Yep. And
like they make the pact. We're going to meet up every month at Robin's weird uncle's house.
Yep. In
Philly. And I mean, like that is like a moment where it felt very meta for me.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
We've been on this journey. It's changed us. It'll never be the same.
Yeah. Well, every person has that moment in their life, like kind of like post high school, college years, whatever, where you're, making new friends, you're trying to stay with old friends, and your life is evolving, and, things naturally pull you in different directions.
Yes.
And then you find that group of people that you constantly try to make the effort to put the work in towards, to make sure that what you have and that your friendship does not fade away. And so people, like you said, like a lot of this finale has tailored towards, I think, people right in our age.
Yeah.
And
people who grew up watching this show.
Like that kind of emotional beat really resonates well with, I think, people our age that are kind of like now really fully on the other side of that, like you said, like off living in different places, kids, marriages, family, like all sorts of things, but like still putting in the work to make your friendships last.
Tend to those meaningful relationships.
Exactly.
And like remember. been
Exactly.
through.
Exactly. And so like this was like a really big emotional scene, I think, for people in that position.
Yeah. And speaking to the emotional manipulation of it, it's absolutely there. Like this feels very much like one of like those hokey, like as the credits are running, black and white, and so went on to have a successful career in journalism,
Yep.
but they all managed to stay together and maintain their relationships
How
and
long
their
do you think they
friendships.
they actually went to Robin's uncle's house in Philly?
I'm choosing to believe that that was a
I'm
standing
saying
event for the rest of their lives.
I'm saying it happened for 3 years. Then they took a break for like 2 years,
Okay.
and then they got back into it.
Yeah.
They did it like on and off every now and then.
And now they're just doing Zooms.
Oh, you're right.
They're getting together on Zoom every month. Um, one other, I love how so Steve very settled in Hawkins,
Yeah.
but it is still making the time to like hang out with Dustin.
Yes. Yes.
And like
And like go visit him at college.
yeah,
And
yeah. And we also get like another like going back to the first half of the episode. There's a moment, the moment when Steve almost dies, almost falls off the tower. Like we're focused on Dustin's reaction in that scene and the fear that he feels, and like that's a good, I think a good follow up to this last batch of episodes when Dustin and Steve like come back together.
Yeah.
And I just I'm glad that the Dustin Steve relationship got a little bit more room to breathe here.
Yes.
Especially in this last coda. Because that again is one of the relationships that's like most resonant in
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah.
Before we're going to close talking about like the final sequence.
Yes.
But before we do that, let's talk briefly about some of the other adults that are left standing. The Wheelers, alive and well.
Ted
Ted
is
still,
and we just don't even mention it. He's fine. He's
there.
fine.
He's good.
Karen has some scars. Ted looks pretty fine. He can still swing that golf club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mrs. Wheeler is still making lasagna for the party.
With a worse haircut.
Yeah. That's a very late 80s, early 90s haircut.
Yeah.
Who else we got? Joyce and
Hop.
They
finally get to see him at Enzo's.
We do, but they have made themselves known at Enzo's before this point because the maitre d' comes over and welcomes them again, and we get, I think, a lovely scene between Joyce and Hop where they decide, like Hop, before the scene, you find out that Hop is again police chief in Hawkins. You're like, they let him.
I got some questions. Is
about qualified.
Yeah.
But not only is he qualified for Hawkins, he has now been offered a position
in Milwaukee, right?
Montauk. They're going to move from Hawkins to Montauk and live on the beach because now they're both empty nesters.
I want to know how he was able to move that laterally. I mean, how was he allowed back? He punched the governor in the face like a season or two ago. Like
in the tail end of the Cold War, he survived a Russian prison. He's got some clout.
That's fair.
But so we get that, and then we get the proposal.
Yes.
Which just like,
sweet.
This is, it's sweet. It's, this is a nice bow, I think, on the Joyce Hopper.
This needed to happen.
The character journey that they went on.
Yep.
And I like that Hopper is now, like he is, let's talk about the Hopper Mike scene. And then we'll talk about, let's do that.
That was a really good scene. That was a really good scene, yeah.
I really like how Hopper has been able to move on. And that brings me to Mike in this coda here. Everybody else to like varying degrees has moved on.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Like they found.
Well, everybody has their person.
Exactly. They have their person. They have a purpose. And they're finding a way to move on from like this trauma. Mike has not been able to do that.
Yeah.
He's the only one who had that final goodbye with Elle, and he's the only one who loved Elle the way that he did.
Right.
And he just is not. He doesn't know how to move on yet.
Yeah.
And it's graduation day, and he basically runs away. And this was cool. I like that we get a flip from the series premiere of Joyce calling the other parents, asking if they know where Will is.
Yep.
Get Mrs. Wheeler calling Joyce,
asking if they know where
Mike is.
Yeah.
They haven't seen him. And Hop finds Mike like at the memorial that was put up
Yep. For
for
all
the
the
Great Earthquake, the people lost in the Great Earthquake, which was the opening of the gates, and government cover-ups. Big win for government cover-ups.
Yep.
Here.
I was gonna say that all just got
Yeah.
under the rug.
Yeah. But we get like I think a really effective scene between Hopper and Mike, and Hopper is able to, tell Mike from his experience, there are two paths that you can walk down when you lose somebody like this. You can either blame yourself and live in, self-pity and sorrow, or you can find a way to accept it and move forward and live the best life you can.
Yeah.
I have been down that
Yeah. He
first
said, I've done
path,
the latter.
and I
or
recommend
the former.
I recommend the latter. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that worked for me.
No,
And
I agree, especially given like their relationship in the past.
yes.
And just like the tension
Yes.
between those two. And Hopper is now like he's seeing himself in Mike, and
Yep.
he's realizing that like he can actually like say something here and like do something to really help shape
Yes.
potentially like shape the course of Mike's life moving forward.
Yeah.
And by telling him what he needs to hear here.
Yeah. And we talked about how the L Hop scene was like a highlight for David Harbour this season. I think this is also up there.
Yeah.
This is like he gets a few moments to shine here. And again, like what Finn Wolfhard is doing here, like he's on the verge of tears this entire time. And there are a couple moments where he's able to like well up and generate like a single tear that rolls down his face.
Yeah.
And like that hit me.
Yeah. No, Finn Wolfhard, we've already said it, but he's acting his butt off in this season, but in this finale for sure.
And I would like to take this opportunity now to take a quick victory lap, because if you've been with us for the past few weeks, month or so, we did a primer episode for this season of TV, right?
We did, yeah. We did a primer episode, and in that primer episode, we did a Stranger Things season 5 prediction draft. It was between you, me, and M.
Yep.
And we all
hit to varying degrees.
Yeah, no, we each had some right categories. First of all, if you don't know what we're talking about, go to the Instagram.
Yeah.
It's on the Instagram. The our teams should be back there a little bit now, but our teams are on there.
Yeah.
And we sat down and we went through them this morning. Jordan won. He had the most right answers. I think I got like 2 or 3. M got 2 or 3. I think you ended up with like 4 or 5.
I was kind of locked in the draft.
Yeah. But go ahead and take your victory lap here, because this is absurd.
One of the rumor mill one of the categories for the draft was rumor mill.
Yes.
So just like, what do you like? Crazy prediction.
Yeah.
What was yours?
So M predicted
Billy is
that
alive.
Billy is alive. I predicted that. What did I predict?
Oh, Elle was the villain, maybe.
Or no, that was a different category. Did I predict that Barb was alive?
Ooh, that might have been it. Or we got a Barb call out.
I don't remember, but yeah.
My prediction was that Mike gets buff.
Yeah.
And folks
just pulled that out of nowhere.
Folks, Mike is absolutely jacked in this coda.
He's significantly bigger than he has been in the entirety of this show.
Man. He's got traps.
Clearly bulking up for a role. His face is filled out. Like, I mean, he's looking good.
He's the one he had like a nice haircut.
Yeah.
He had the flow going.
Yeah.
And
those cheekbones aren't like sucked in as much anymore. He's putting on some muscle.
Folks, Mike got jacked.
I
had a feeling. Hey,
I was upset with you this morning.
I'm gonna be living on that one for a while. Mike got jacked. It's time to talk about, I think, the close of the campaign.
Yeah. Yeah, this hit.
Yeah.
This hit me.
Yep. And
this felt good.
Yeah. This is I think this was my prediction for final scene, that gang plays D&D.
All right. Thanks for joining us here on Between Two Batcaves. Episode's over.
So I like how this comes after like Dustin and the party gets invited to a party at a girl's house after graduation. Like Dustin has a girl come over and is like, that speech you gave was really cool. Like, I'm having a party. You guys should come. And they're all like, wait, did that just happen?
Yeah.
And then they're all like, we have something better to do. And then cut to the party in Mike's basement and the Wheeler's basement.
Starting up a new campaign.
Finishing a campaign.
Yes.
Finishing a campaign. We got Mike in his role as Dungeon Master. We
I would
got
love to play D&D with Mike as my
God, he's
dungeon
so good.
master.
Mike's there, Dustin's there, Lucas is there, and Max is there.
Yes.
And Will is there, obviously. And
Everybody but Al.
everybody but Elle. They're finishing a campaign, and they find a way to like obviously have the campaign mirror the story of what happened here.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun because they get like they're all like having fun, just like, oh no, like, we've lost, the dungeon master is fun. Like, we can't, it's fun. They're hooting and hollering, they're screaming, yelling. And it's like, we can't do it. And, Max starts freaking out. She's like, this is BS. Like, what do you mean? Like, what is this game?
Yeah.
And then, they have this great idea. And it was like something like the Sorcerer's Stone, or I can't
The
remember the name.
we spoke with the mage.
Yeah.
She said we could summon her.
Yeah, and so then we sit back down and realize that, oh, like the campaign's not over, like we could
Mhm.
still maybe win. And then they start to tie. Mike weaves his story and he starts to tie in everything
Yep.
to the characters and their D&D characters that represent themselves,
Yeah.
and how Max and Lucas are going to move to a far off village and live happily ever after.
And go to the movies together.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Dustin is going to go
Further
innovate and
further his
further
exploration of
studies.
knowledge.
Yeah.
But still find time for the occasional adventure. And this is like so we basically get like the gang or the party it like wins the campaign, and Mike is like, and everybody lives happily ever after. And Max is like, I thought you were a great storyteller. Like,
Yeah.
come on. And so then Mike takes this opportunity to spin a happy ending for like you said, each of the characters in the campaign, but the show uses it as an opportunity to show us like a quick glimpse of like a future for these characters. So
Yeah.
we see Max and Lucas like happy at the movies together. We see Dustin like going on to college, and
Yeah.
this is where we get like he still has time for the occasional adventure. He runs out
With
and he
Steve.
meets up with Steve, who has
An RV. Yeah.
up to the station wagon.
Will is seemingly out in the city,
Yeah.
at a bar, meeting with a guy, and
Yeah.
so it has further.
Just another atrocious haircut for him, though.
Oh yeah, bad haircut for Will. Sorry, man. Total like early '90s though,
Yeah.
so that checks
It's true.
out.
Yeah.
But seemingly like happy with where he is in his life.
Yeah.
And then this kind of comes to the everybody's crying. at
Everybody's
this point.
crying, and Max is like, well, what about the storyteller?
Yeah.
And Mike as well. The storyteller continues to tell stories and hopes that
He's a writer now. In the future,
Yes,
he's a
yes,
writer.
Mike is a writer.
He's a writer.
And he's got big horn rimmed glasses on. But he's like, and the storyteller has taken inspiration from all those who he's told stories about and hopes that like their stories spread to others.
Yes.
And I again, just like this really works. These are characters that we have come to care about and love over the past decade, and like they get happy endings.
Yeah.
And it's nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
I this was a very effective ending for me.
And what okay, and so
But-
there's two other beats. So we need to talk about.
gotta
So
talk
they
about
ask about what happens to the mage, who basically
Is Elle.
like the campaign sacrificed herself to save the party. It's obviously Elle. And so Mike spins a tale, and he's basically like, we can either choose to believe that she sacrificed herself to save us and died, or there's a second story that I don't tell. And the second story is that essentially what he says is maybe Elle didn't die. Maybe she and Kali concocted a plan to project an illusion that Elle died
Yep.
to get the military off her tail.
Yep.
But really she's still alive and found her land with 3 waterfalls, basically.
Yeah.
And I mean, the whole party is just like tears are falling, and like again, just Finn Wolfhard like doing amazing
Yeah.
emotional work here.
So we're like basically like led to believe it's up to interpretation, and it's Mike is speaking to the party, but he's also speaking to us.
And
we
he's
can
speaking
either
to himself too. And this
Yeah.
is like, I love this too, because this comes after his conversation with Hopper.
Mhm.
And this is just Mike making the choice
to
to
believe that there's a
to
possibility.
believe there's a possibility
Yeah.
to accept what happened
Yeah.
and move forward from
Yeah.
it.
So we're now left to either believe that Elle made the sacrifice play. And either way, it's a sacrifice play.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
she either, died closing the upside down, or
Sacrificed her life as she knew it to
yeah,
go live a life of anonymity.
to protect her friends.
Yeah.
And I mentioned this to you this morning, but it gave me like really, really big The Dark Knight Rises vibes.
Yeah. Yeah.
As that movie closes, we get Alfred giving his monologue about Bruce Wayne,
Mhm.
to finally, come to see him sitting in like the French
Finding happiness
cafe.
with
Yeah.
Selena. Yeah.
And obviously it's a little bit different there because, that's not as, ambiguous of like whether or not he's alive or dead, but it
Yeah.
was giving me similar
Yeah.
feelings.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. My interpretation is that Elle actually did die in the Upside Down.
Interesting.
Because the alternative is that she and Kali concocted this plan. I don't. From what we see, like we see Kali die from Elle's perspective in the
Yes.
Upside Down,
Yes, we do.
and
Like
that's
very clearly like shot in the abdomen,
yes,
bleeds out.
and I mean, I guess like there could have been like off-screen conversations where like Kali, like in like a second wind, like is able to concoct this plan, but that's not my interpretation. I think that this is just, and I like this more for me personally, is that yes, she sacrificed herself and died to save them, and Mike has found a way to accept that by holding a little bit of hope in his heart that you know what, there's a way that she's out there and
Yeah.
happy,
Yeah.
and that is going to allow me to move on and find some semblance of happiness without her.
Mhm.
Um, that's kind of my interpretation of it. Again, I think you can read the scene a number of ways.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think you're wrong. But like for me, emotionally, I think that's most impactful too.
I'm not really ready to make a decision on it yet.
Yeah, I don't think you have to. That's like you
That
can
no,
live
you're
in
right. That
ambiguity
is
of it.
the beauty of that
Yeah.
scene, that you don't have to make a decision.
And I think that's an effect. Like when you talk about a series finale, it is so hard to give concrete answers to every question
yes,
and have
it's
those answers be
pretty much
satisfying.
impossible. Pretty much impossible.
Exactly.
People are going to be disappointed no matter what.
Yes. So leaving it open-ended and allowing people to attach like their own thoughts and feelings about the show and about these characters to that ending,
Yeah.
I think is a good way to do it with a show like this.
No, that's a really good
Yeah.
point. Yeah, and you're right. Like I don't have to decide whether or not I think Ella's dead, because there's a possibility for both. I think eventually, like I probably will make a decision on whether or not I think she is dead, or in her village with
Yeah.
the three waterfalls. But I don't know. I just have not. I haven't really
Gotta stay
gone
with it
either
for a
way
while.
yet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I like that because this is going to give me like another reason just to kind of like think about this in the back of my head. It's
Yeah.
going to be fun, hearing. Obviously, you and I listen to a lot of the same podcasts, like listening to the
What
other
other people think about it,
podcasters
yeah.
that we both enjoy and respect. What they think about this, and how they're interpreting this scene, and just like seeing what the overall discourse on this is.
Yeah.
And just seeing like kind of almost just like what the majority view is out there. Like, is Elle out there still? Is she dead? Like, what really happened? Like, what's the majority of people accepting as the truth here?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be very curious to see how that unfolds.
Yeah. And if Elle is alive and living out in that remote village, what's she doing? She just
Definitely a
just
sheep,
hiking,
like just a farmer.
Yeah.
She's a herder, a sheep herder.
just hanging out.
Like, dude, she can totally psychically like
She
just herd sheep. Like
she's
it's
not living off the land; she's living on the land.
absolutely she is.
You want to talk about the final sequence here with the passing of the torch?
Oh, yes. I was gonna say, wasn't that the final sequence? But no, you're right. There is one
So,
more.
We get the party. This scene really got me. First, the party like taking their D&D binders and
Putting them on the shelf. Retiring. Yeah.
Like this is their last campaign before they all go off to college.
Yeah.
And there was some like they took a few beats to just show them just like packing up.
Mhm.
Like,
Well, they took their time with this.
and that was like strangely enough like one of the most emotional moments.
I would
And it
agree.
is just like again just like another meta type moment where like we are packing up this show and putting it on the shelf.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
yes, we can take it off the shelf and open it back up again whenever we want, but it won't be the same.
No.
And
Who knows when the next time will be?
yes,
Type of thing.
exactly. And so again, like going back again, like Finn Wolfhard's performance of like hanging up the Dungeon Master binder.
Yep.
There was something there, man. It just like it got to me.
Yep.
And so, and this, so they all go up. Mrs. Wheeler is like, the lasagna is getting cold. And so everybody runs up the stairs. And as you know, as soon as they come out, Holly and Delightful Derek and her group of friends run down and they set up at the D&D table and they're like, finally, like we can play now. And Holly is the new dungeon master and she's introducing her friends, which is like, you can see that like her friend group has grown.
Yes.
She is like Derek, who was like, she
They hated
Derek.
it. He was her bully.
He's sitting next to her. He's part of the party.
Yeah.
And like she's the new dungeon master. She is the new leader. And you get Mike just standing at the top of the stairs,
Like proud,
looking down, and it's pride. It's like, it's sadness. Cause like you can see that he's processing like, our time's over.
Yeah.
But like, I passed it down and like, it's going to live on. Like we are going to live on through them.
Yes.
And
yes.
like,
Like what we have done here, like what we have built, like they are capable of taking this over.
Yes.
And continuing the legacy of, just like the world that we have built.
Yep. And
protect.
Mike walks up the stairs, closes the door, and we fade to black. And that's how the series ends. And flaws and all, like we spent 10 years watching the show and the ending worked.
I was going to say,
I'm sad about it. But like, I'm sad about it. I'm happy about it. Like,
it's going to be,
this is going to stick. These moments will stick with me more than my issues with the Vecna Henry resolution.
Yes, yeah,
Vecna Mind Flare.
We have lots of flaws, and we honestly didn't even touch on like all the flaws that we have, which I think is fine. Yeah, it was not a perfect season. It was not a perfect finale. There was a lot of issues. There was a lot of glaring issues. But like you said, ultimately, like I'm leaving this series of television, and like you said, like a moment in television history. I mean, you got to consider what Stranger Things is.
Yeah.
This Stranger Things redefined the modern streaming era,
and it had to evolve because, like, looking like when they gave us like these flashbacks to season 1, like it was a completely different show.
Totally.
Like tone, like cinematography, visuals,
yeah,
like the way it felt was different.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, it started as like this niche thing and then it blew up. And I think like they, to their detriment in some senses, like adapted what the show was.
That's a good point. Yeah.
To make it more broadly appealing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you can't deny that when we close out, like these are still the characters that we grew up with. These are still, this is the same Mike Wheeler from season 1.
Yeah.
That like made a bid for connection with Elle.
Yeah.
And like galvanized his friends around that.
Yeah.
And to like leave that off and like care about the Mike and Holly brother-sister relationship over the course of this season and have that kind of be the note that we go out on.
Yeah.
It works. It works.
This is going to be like, it does work. And like I said, there's a lot wrong with it, but ultimately we are leaving this show feeling good. And that feels good. It feels good knowing that we are leaving Stranger Things feeling good about it.
Yeah.
And all of the faults in this season aside, I feel good wrapping this show up.
Yep.
And it's going to be weird not having the show around anymore. This is going to be like one of those things, like it's going to kind of be like Lost in a sense, you know. It's one of those things that it's just like part of the culture.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be like weird that it's not on the air anymore. It's not going to be in the discussion anymore. Like obviously, like people don't really spend hours upon hours of their time thinking about Lost and talking about Lost, or eventually like Stranger Things merchandise will fade out of stores, and this is just going to be a piece of history, a piece of TV history, and that's in itself is going to be very strange. It's a strange thing.
I've seen Stranger.
Nice.
Okay. Before we wrap, I think we need to do 3 rankings.
Okay.
For this. We need to do a ranking of this episode as a season finale.
I like that.
We need to do a ranking of it as a series finale, and we need to give it like a score as the series as a whole.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. I like that a lot.
So let's start micro and work up to macro. So as a season finale.
1 to 10.
Where are you?
As a season finale, I'm gonna give it a I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
Okay, I'm at a 6.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I might have enjoyed like the just like the kaiju battle part of it a
yeah,
touch more than you,
yeah,
but yeah, first half was ultimately very disappointing. Second half was much better.
yeah.
So as a season finale, disappointing.
6 for me. Yeah, just too many unanswered questions, too many missed opportunities for it to be more than that. But at the same time, get some cool moments. Like we didn't talk about the moment that Elle confronts Henry inside of the mind flare, where she like full use of powers, does the force jump,
Yeah,
so, like kinetic powers, rips apart the mind flare, jumps into him.
it was cool.
It was cool.
It was cool.
Like a moment like that, I'm like, okay, like this is cinema.
Yep,
But 6.
six
Uh,
and a half, six.
yeah,
We're
yeah,
in the
yeah.
same range here. Yeah,
Series finale.
this one's hard. Series finale. So I'm gonna be giving this as a series finale. I'm gonna give it a 9 as a
Ooh, okay.
series finale, and a lot of that I think goes towards almost like the last 15 minutes of this show,
Yeah.
and just like the work that it does to close out the show. I really hope everybody understands what I'm saying here. I'm not giving
Clip
this
it.
episode a 9. I'm saying that this finale, the last bit of this finale did a really good job of closing out our characters. What's holding me back from giving it a perfect score is the fact that the Vecna resolution sucks.
Yes. I am at an 8, so I feel very similarly, but I think to a lesser degree on the positive side because yes, the last hour, while emotional manipulation, it worked. I fell for the nostalgia bait.
I'll be
I care
manipulated.
about it. You know what? Sometimes I'll eat some slop.
Mm.
Um, agreed that I mean the resolution of like the series long villain dissatisfying.
Yeah,
And like that being the mind flare, and also the Henry Vecna resolution dissatisfying.
yeah,
So for those reasons, I can't go higher than an 8, but 8 as a show.
as a show. So this is
This is really
interesting
hard.
because we've already talked about like Stranger Things is like a massive show when you're talking about like cultural implications.
Yeah, but even just thinking about it like on a like strictly quality basis,
Hmm.
there's such a variance. I think with the quality from season to season that
Hmm.
it's hard.
Yeah,
But like when I'm thinking about ranking it as an overall series, like it's hard not to like think about like the high points. You know,
there's some solid high points. I mean,
I think this show has some of the highest highs that a show can reach.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's when it's effective and it's operating on all cylinders, it's hard to beat.
yeah,
Um, but you made a great point earlier of just saying like it kind of like succumbed to the pressure in a way of
yeah,
appealing to a wider audience, and had some faults along the way for doing so,
yeah,
but also still managed to deliver some of the greatest moments in our like time as adults
yeah.
watching TV. So as a series, I'm cool giving this. You know what? I'm trying to think of what a 10 series would be for me.
A 10 series for me would be like Andor,
Yeah.
which is different because it's only 2 seasons, but
Yeah.
eh, less
Still,
episodes, but not. It's like 24 episodes compared to what's like 40 here,
yeah.
something like that.
Um, man, I love Stranger Things. I really do. I
Go
got
with your heart, man.
9.
Okay, I was gonna say 8.5.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, season 1 is one of the best seasons of TV that's out there. Um, so 8.5, 9 for Stranger Things as a whole. Um, I'm just thinking, do you have any thoughts on this season as a whole? I've been keeping a running list of like my rankings of, but obviously letterbox for movies, but I've also been keeping a list of my show rankings for the year.
Mm.
And so that January 1st, as we're recording it, good opportunity to just quickly, I'm going to go down the list just and wait.
Time. All right. What were you saying?
Okay, to put a bow on this, I've been keeping a running tab of all the shows I've watched in 2025.
I have not been.
So what I just want to do really quickly is go over the shows that I have ranked above Stranger Things season 5 this year.
Ooh, I like that. Okay.
So
How many shows do you have ranked?
I have 26 shows ranked this year.
Interesting. Okay.
And I have Stranger Things season 5 come in at number 11, fittingly, actually. Didn't think about that.
He did that on purpose. Don't let him fool you.
Stranger Things at 11. Less of a knock on Stranger Things and more just like we had a lot of really good TV this year.
Yeah.
So just running down top 10, I had Andor season 2, perfect. Task, nearly perfect. Severance season 2, not perfect, but insanely high highs.
Great. Yeah.
Invincible season
Man,
3.
I forgot that was this year.
It's been a long year.
Yeah.
Invincible season 3, Pluribus, The Chair Company,
Mm-hmm.
Rehearsal season 2, Slow Horses season 5, Daredevil Born Again, and Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man rounds out the top 10.
I'm not going to argue with you on any of that.
Stranger Things season
Yeah.
5 right there, and then Peacemaker right below Stranger Things.
Yeah. I don't hate any of that.
I would probably give the season as a whole like a 7, just as like a season of TV.
Yeah.
It's the way that like this, like the rankings for this show and this season and this episode is so interesting. Just the way that you frame how you think about it.
I just like a lot. It sucks, but just like a lot of this season will be forgotten.
Yeah.
Except for like the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So
I think you're right. Where do you fall? Like what would you get? Like 1 to 10 for the season as a whole?
did we already do that?
Would you? I thought we did the episode as a season.
We got too many rankings out right now.
Too many numbers.
No, yeah, I'm right in that range too. Like a 7, 7.5. I mean, that's kind of just like the
There's a lot of
generic
variance.
number that you assign something when it's just like it's good.
Yeah.
Like it's better than average. It's good, not great.
It's interesting though because I feel like there are two different kinds.
It's not my favorite season.
You have a 7 where it's just a 7 all the way through, or you have a 7 where there's 10s and 2s and it all averages
That's
out.
fair.
Like
That's
moments. So I think it's the latter for me, where there are like some incredibly high highs, but also some very low lows.
Okay, well,
So,
before we go though, now I just thought of this. Like, where does this rank among Stranger Things seasons for you?
That's a good. Okay, Stranger Things
Season rankings.
Okay. I would probably go 1, 3, 4. Yeah, 4, 5, 2. 1, 3, 4, 5, 2.
Dude, that's my list. That's my list.
No, it can't be.
Dang it.
Yeah,
Dude,
I
was,
think
yeah.
1. It's interesting too because coming into season 5, I actually had like before my start of my rewatch of season 4,
Mm,
I think I had it like 1, 4, 3, 2. So I actually had 3.
3's really good.
I like thinking back and like I've gone back and watched some of 3 as we've been like going through this process, the mall stuff.
It's really good.
Yeah. So
It switched up the vibe of Stranger Things and like it was like
Yeah.
felt like so different and I really enjoyed
yeah.
it.
So I think 4 gets bumped down, 3 gets bumped up, 5 is slightly below 4.
I could see 4 and 5 being interchangeable for me.
It's like 1A and 1B between them,
Yeah.
but not 1.
Yeah.
4, 3A.
3A, 3B.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I could flip flop on those two. I'm definitely locked in on the other ones though.
Yeah.
1, 3, and 2 are all
One's
where
like
they belong.
pretty close to a perfect season. Too.
I agree. But yeah, 4 and 5, they could be interchangeable.
Yeah.
Depending on, kind of like what I was in the mood for, definitely different. I mean, I hate to make this comp, but it's kind of like Infinity War Endgame, It's,
Yeah. Well, Stranger Things season 5, end of an era, varying degrees of success. I think some people are going to walk away from this feeling disappointed. In fact, I know some people have walked away from this feeling disappointed.
Yes.
But you know what? For the task that it set out to accomplish, I can walk away from this with positive feelings about Stranger Things and about this finale. And I will hold this show and these characters in a special place in my heart going forward.
And if we're being too positive on this, I'm sure people will let us know anyway.
Oh,
So
they'll let us know.
So listen, I had a good time with it. I'm gonna miss this show.
Yeah,
I really am. I'm gonna miss covering this show on the pod.
it's been fun.
This has been,
A lot of really fun engagement online. Like
I was gonna say, it's been a
it's
period
so
of
much
growth
fun.
for us.
It's so much fun seeing the comments on like our socials and stuff. Like people have really been engaging with it, which like I wasn't expecting. But
Yeah.
people like not only calling us out for our lack of D&D knowledge,
Hmm.
but like giving us pointers on like the safe way to handle a shotgun and
Yep.
how Nancy
Yep.
did not
Yep.
do
Yep.
that. Just like a lot of fun conversation. So anybody out there who's listening to us, whether it's like in the long form or via like our shorts on socials and stuff, thank you. I hope you guys continue to do that, not only for this episode, but as we get into Dunkin' Egg and like whatever comes in this new year. Just glad to have you guys around and listening to what we're doing here. Um, this is like honestly, this is a good opportunity for us to just reflect on the first like we've been doing this now for like 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
Been a lot of fun, man. Like
Been a lot of fun. We
I,
both have like learned a lot, I think, through this process.
absolutely. It's been like educational. It's been like it's cathartic, I think, to have this space to talk about these things and get these thoughts and feelings out. And at a time in both of our lives when we are insanely busy, like I'm grateful to be able to set aside some time every week to just talk about the things we love.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Yeah, it's been fun, and to have like the other side of it, where like we've always said, we talk about this stuff anyway.
Yeah.
But like to have like the engagement on the other side, where people are like actually connecting with the fact that we are enjoying talking about it, it's just very funny to see.
Yeah, we had a fun Instagram reel comment the other day where somebody was like, "Who let two two white guys have microphones and start another podcast again?" It's just the same takes over and over.
My one of my favorite of the week was they should make podcasting equipment more
Yeah.
expensive.
Which, like, valid point. Like, we are very aware of like the fact that there is oversaturation in the space, and I think we have just enough hubris to feel like there might be one person out there who gets some enjoyment out of listening to us yap about this stuff.
Yeah.
And so
And it was,
if
at
that's
least
not
we had
you,
fun.
exactly. If that's not you, that's fine. And thank you for like whoever that was on Instagram, like posing the question because it's valid. But that
And
being
that
said,
clip popped off.
hey, eh, all press is good press. And with that being said, like we don't have any plans of slowing down anytime soon. And we hope you guys stick around and continue to call us out for whatever it is you think we need to be called out for. But unless you got anything else, man.
Well, before we close it out,
Yeah.
just you brought it New Year's resolution for the pod.
Oh, good call. We need to bring that back. New Year's resolution for the pod. I want us to get up to 100 subscribers on YouTube.
Ooh, okay.
Let's say by Spider-Man Brand New Day.
By Brand New Day.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, honestly, that's a good goal. I mean, we're at 35 right now.
If
And
you're listening on YouTube and you haven't hit that bell, if you hadn't hit that subscribe button, hit it.
I like that. That's a good one.
Yeah.
My resolution for the pod is I want to this year do a little more expanding our podcasting network.
Yeah.
We did a little bit of that last year. And you know, I
Shout out TCR.
yeah, shout out TCR. That was a lot of fun. And I would like to continue to just like collaborate with other creators in the space, with, you know, like minds as us and that
Yeah.
enjoy talking about the things that we talk about as much as we do.
Definitely.
And just, yeah, you like grow that network a little bit. It's a lot of fun to talk with other people who enjoy talking about the things that we talk about at the level in which we do.
Yes, absolutely.
Because while our wives will talk to us about this stuff, eventually they get tired of it. So
This is true.
which is why we are here talking to each other about
in our little room.
yes, in our little room.
Man. But you know what? It works.
That it
works.
does. That it does.
Well, I think that's a pod. That's Stranger Things. Thank you, folks, for hanging out with us on this episode of Between Two Batcaves, but really just in one Batcave. We appreciate you guys. Please continue to follow along on what we're doing. We'll be back next week talking about something. We'll find something to talk about.
Something.
Oh, you know, it might be good. If we don't want to like do like a review type episode, we could do like a 2026 hype.
Ooh, that would be.
What's
Yeah, we
coming.
haven't done that yet.
If that's something
Yeah.
you guys would be interested in, hearing us talk about what's to come this year and how we feel about it, let us know. And I guess we'll leave it at that. Thank you guys again. Hit us up on the socials. We are on all of them at between two Batcaves with the number 2, except for the formerly known as Twitter. We are there at B2 Batcaves. So hit us up over there. Give us a follow. Follow us on YouTube. We're on all the podcast apps. And let us know what you're excited about in this new year.
And before you close out of the podcast app of your choice, last reminder here, leave us a quick rating and review. Goes a long way. 5 stars, a couple words of kindness. Follow the pod and share the pod with a friend. Like Jordan said, we'll be back soon. We'll be back next week doing something. So, from our Batcaves to yours, Happy New Year, and we will see you next time.
See you.